let's get serious. I mean, as serious as we possibly can.
I think we're trying to do the opposite thing.
Yeah, exactly. That was my point. Anyway, hi guys. Welcome to the third episode of Please Be Offended. And today we're going to talk about the antithesis of our existence, which is outrage culture. And yeah, we're going to talk about some interesting instances. Some of them might not be to your taste, but fuck it. Good luck. Anyway, so what are your takes on outrage culture broadly?
I think collectively people are too inclined to get passionate about something, and they don't have that process in their head, right, where they first look at everything, look at all the information, then go by logical assessment, then draw conclusions. They take the surface level stuff.
Yeah, they react immediately.
Yeah,
they don't think things through.
Yeah, and quite often it's because ideologically they're very hard set.
Yeah,
you know,
they're not open to another perspective.
Exactly.
So,
it's an echo chamber.
Can you give me an example of like something that happened that really pissed you off? I know that whole schlep of you saying, oh, I don't get pissed off very easily, but you get my point, right?
Okay, but that's like between us and family and all that. I can have a lot more emotional output. When it comes to stuff happening outside, I'm so desensitized. It's just very hard to get me passionate about something now, you know. But like logically speaking, there's plenty of instances. I think the crowning achievement, in a good way and in a bad way, was the Me Too movement, right? A lot of good things, a lot of bad things. Like in terms of the prime example, but then you've had other things.
See, it started out very well. You know, when it started, it was
necessary. I'd say it's necessary.
Yeah, it was about women who were actually being harassed and troubled, and in some cases, like bad shit was happening to them. I don't know. Like I can't think of a case immediately, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah, that might have happened. So my whole point is that was great. All for it. Agree with it completely. But when women start using Me Too hashtags to put up social media posts about like a bad date, right? And you just read the post, and it's like, oh, he came to pick me up for a dinner date and he didn't open the car door, and then we went on the date
and he took me to a white chocolate factory.
Yeah, whatever, right? You know, and she's just describing what is not necessarily like the guy's fault, right? Like you can have a bad date. You don't have to chastise the guy for it and Me Too him and ruin his career and all of that shit. And there were a lot of instances of women Me Tooing people towards the latter end of the movement, just for the fuck of it. And it came out that, say for example, a particular accusation was not true, but the guy's career was ruined anyway. Right? I think Johnny Depp is one of the few examples where he actually made it out of it
pretty well.
Yeah, and he wasn't Me Too'd. That was a different thing entirely. But that's just an example of how people would use that movement, co-opt that movement, and use it to their benefit.
I think that's what happens to every movement though. Once you get to a broader level, everybody tries to inject their own little concept or their own little conjecture into it, and they try to weaponize it for their own purposes. Any movement I can think of pretty much is the same.
I would say it's fine to bring in your own concepts into a movement. That is okay. But don't use the movement to sell your bullshit, right? Like don't use the movement to label somebody a certain way when they're not that way, just because you can see benefit in it. Like it's, you know, an example of outrage culture that is very recent, that a lot of people will not like me talking about, is the Calcutta rape case. So yeah, you should be outraged, no doubt, right? I'm not going to question that for a second. But also remember that there's no point in just showing outrage for the first 3 days, 1 week, and then forgetting about it.
I think this is very common in India. Something happens, something horrendous happens, people get outraged, and then 3 days later it's already dead. But nobody is looking at it and going, okay, let's look at an actual solution where we address the cause,
Exactly.
not just the symptoms, right?
So
Nobody's saying, hey,
their solution is put women in a bubble
ah,
and just like keep tightening the bubble.
yeah,
And the whole idea is, okay, that might work.
no,
Okay, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, right? That might work, but is that how you should be going about it?
it's one of those classic dogmatic things, right? Victim shaming.
It's like if your wife is beautiful and people stare at her when you go out with her, you decide to put a sheet on her so that nobody can see her. It's just stupid.
At that point, it's a you problem, not a
Exactly.
her problem.
Like if you want female doctors to be safe, put better security infrastructure within an institute or within a hospital, right, or a clinic.
How is it that a whole hospital doesn't have a CCTV system?
I think they found CCTV footage
They did.
of the guy coming in and leaving and all
Yeah,
of that.
that's coming in and going in, right? But you don't have something granular. Where you can
I
track
don't
these people.
think you need to get granular about a rape case because like there are certain things you might not want to look at, right? So I can understand that. Even if you have footage of the crime being committed, I would say it is best that people don't get to see it.
Oh no, people shouldn't get to see it, but at least the investigative people, it helps, right? And they don't have to see. They don't have to like have cameras in the rooms themselves, but at least the hallways and all that.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, common areas. So you can at least track where people are going in and out and who's there.
Dude, it's also that this whole case is unfolding in a way where you have no fucking clue what is going on.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
because
like,
initially it was like there's one culprit and he's the main suspect. And then there are dash culprits and they are suspects. And then it's like the hospital administration was also involved.
yeah.
Like what the fuck is
now
going
we have
on?
an organ harvesting thing going on.
Right. It's like insane. It is like it's like a game of it's like dominoes falling.
You remember that case that happened not too long ago as well, where this kid ran over like two people. He Salman Khan them basically.
Salman
And
Khan
then, yeah, and then a very relatively innocuous, like murder or not murder, but like runaway case.
Hit
not
and
runaway,
run.
Hit and run case turned into a whole debacle about family and corruption and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is also weird, right? Because, okay, a guy, an underage kid in a Porsche ran over somebody and you're angry because he's rich. I get it. But there are plenty of fucking underage kids with Santros running over people. Nobody gives a fuck about that, right?
Oh, but see, he's rich.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly. Right. That is, okay, yeah, get after the guy.
Yeah.
There should be some consequences. You should also consider the fact that he's a fucking kid. So you need to go about it in a certain manner. You can't just like pick him up and throw him in prison indefinitely for
That's
life.
I do it. Go for it.
I mean, you know, I get it.
Maximum security.
From the perspective of the family that lost its kids, yes, you would want to throw them in prison. But how will that solve anything? He's a fucking kid. He made a bad mistake. I mean,
it's not just a bad mistake. You're an underage kid driving a car that you shouldn't like.
dude, I used to
and you're drunk.
I used to drive cars when I was underage. I used to ride bikes also. I'm very lucky nothing ever happened where somebody else got hurt, right? So I can understand that situation.
Yeah, but that's not a good. That's not a good thing, right? We don't want people who, because road safety and all that is very. It can get very ugly very fast if you're not really good at it. And kids aren't good at it. Kids are reckless.
Send him to prison.
Yeah.
For a set period of time, and then let him come out and have a life. Don't just like this whole idea of. I've seen this with rape cases. I've seen this with accidents. I've seen this with everything. Right? People's snap reaction is kill them. It's like you can't go around killing everybody because tomorrow you might be at the receiving end of it, right? And you might not even be guilty necessarily. There might be cases where you're not guilty and they just hang you.
Government,
you will not be okay
government, when, like I've read on this, governments when it comes to capital punishment are notoriously incompetent.
Yeah.
Like there's been plenty of cases where people were innocent, they were tried as guilty, and then they were hung, and then later on got found out. And see, the thing is, I don't mind the really degenerate people getting murdered killed off. The
like
issue is
these people who committed that rape, right?
Yeah.
If you manage to prove in court,
bury them.
I would say hang them, bury them, do whatever the fuck you want with them. No questions asked. I would say televise it so that I can watch it and laugh. Because I would
like George Carlin or something.
Huh?
George Carlin or something.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. No, but like I would agree with it. That is fine. But for the kid, right, who ran over this couple.
Yeah, like don't give him a
life sentence and then hang him. I mean,
that's too much.
He's a fucking kid. You know, at the end of the day, he might have fucked up really badly, but he's still a kid. He doesn't know any better. When you're that age, you don't know shit.
See, I think the bigger fuck up is the people behind him, like his parents and whatever. You're the one who enables this kind of stuff, right? Like, why does he have a Porsche at that age?
Like, I was an asshole as a kid, right?
Yeah,
there were times when I was taking the car without anybody knowing. Sometimes you can't control your kid. This guy's reaction to it, where he tried to make everything go away, that is wrong. Like, if
somehow this kid managed to drown his whole family along the way, you know? That's what makes this case funny, right? You have one relatively common occurrence, pretty much,
and then everything around it just collapses.
Yeah,
it's like the Arjikar case as well.
Which one? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up, right?
One thing happened, and now all of a sudden you're
talking about organ harvesting.
You're talking about organ harvesting. You've had a riot on those premises. All evidence has been destroyed. How the fuck? Who the fuck is telling people that so and so guy raped so and so girl and he is in trouble? So to save him, please go and completely destroy this building. Like, I don't get that perspective. Who the fuck is doing that? And why? Why?
But, I mean, this happens all the time though, right? You have politicians somehow, like, blatantly on open channels justifying rape. Or saying it's not that bad.
You know, one of the most stark things I've ever heard was this person that we both know. Very respectable person, very good professional in what he did and all of that, very capable, very intelligent. And I think you and I, we were in, I won't name the city, so we were where he lives and we were hanging out with him. And he's considerably older than we are. And this conversation about rape came up, right? And this was a long time ago.
I was here.
Yeah, I don't.
This was just before I left.
Yeah. So his whole thing was, and he's from like our parents' generation, right? So his whole thing was, okay, rape is bad. Nobody should do it. It's wrong. But once you're in that situation, just go with it. And from a very pragmatic perspective, it kind of makes sense, because if you're in that situation...
Oh, wait, are you talking about from the woman's perspective?
Yeah.
If
you're in that situation and you can't save yourself, don't give them a reason to kill you.
Yes.
Right? I get that. But still, like, I genuinely believe the most important thing that we should do is, number one, teach women self-defense. Like, all of the women that
practical
we know,
shit,
right?
Not like the
exactly
not women self-defense,
not women self-defense, actual self-defense.
Boxing and grappling and all that.
Boxing, grappling, jiu-jitsu is very good, because like
I'd say wrestling, not jiu-jitsu.
I mean, I wouldn't want a woman to wrestle a guy because she is at a disadvantage inherently there, unless she's highly trained.
The whole point of wrestling is leverage, right? So as long as you fundamentally understand how leverage works and how to maximize,
but you're going on a very high level. Most
Yeah.
people on a community level can't achieve that level, right?
That's
so you
right.
teach them things that give them a better chance of protecting themselves. But my whole point is, number one, teach women to protect themselves. Number two, teach them to shoot. Please.
We need guns.
And number three, please give your women guns.
Yeah, we need guns.
Like I remember,
Not
I
even
was
pepper spray, just guns.
I was talking
Pistols.
I was talking to this colleague of mine when I was in college, and so we were. She was talking about guns and like the kind of guns I like and all of that. And she was like, "But how can you like? Why do you have guns and why do you even need them?" And
In India?
and I would say case in point.
In India?
Yeah. Because
They say in Canada.
her
And I've been in Canada. We still have there's still shit going on in Canada.
yeah, exactly. That is like besides the point. My whole point was like I think everybody should carry a gun, and if every responsible citizen should carry a gun, and if you're in trouble, fucking shoot the motherfucker. Like imagine if this chick had a gun in her purse, right? And these guys try to like drag her into whatever, like wherever they try to take her into the conference room or whatever. She should have immediately just stuck her hand into the purse, not even pulled the gun out, just pointed it at these fuckers and started like just emptied the magazine. It would have ended everything right there. Even if you don't shoot all of them, you will have created a ruckus. People will hear gunshots. People will come investigate what's going on. You will at least have killed like 2-3 people at point blank range. Even if 1 or 2 survive, they're going to be scared shitless. That will be the end of it. You're not getting raped then.
Yeah.
Right?
I wholeheartedly agree. You know? Yeah, like we don't have to go full on America, like you have machine guns and shit. Just like pistols at the very least, easily accessible as long as you get a license. And the license should be you're sane, you're not gonna go commit mass crime.
Exactly.
Right.
Dude, it's like
And we don't need gun nuts and we don't need like a whole culture of aesthetics and whatever around guns. Just protect yourself, know how to shoot a gun.
exactly. And you also need to teach women that okay, you can be a woman and you can have those like you can enjoy the things that women like, but also learn this practical aspect of
Yeah,
living
like be
life.
pragmatic.
Yeah.
Be a little thankful.
Like don't be that
thoughtful.
don't be that person who's like okay, so it's never happened to me yet. So fuck it. Let's keep rolling the dice
No.
for the next 40 years.
No.
Right.
Like you just can't you can't risk it in this country. Like the risk reward ratio is not very good here. I mean, sure, I think I told you this, right? I walked out of right here. I walked out like 7 years ago when I was graduating.
Oh, when that guy parked his bike next to you and
10 meters outside the house, I ran into a pedophile.
Dude, you
And I was walking to
you
Jalandhar.
can't call him a pedophile because you weren't exactly a kid, but I
was
get
a
your
kid.
point.
I was 17, I was 16, 17 or something.
I mean, I don't know. I think he was gay. I don't know about the pedophile part.
No, he was a pedophile.
No,
I remember me being decidedly young because that was my whole.
dude, now imagine. Okay, so you were a guy. You looked like capable of protecting yourself. He just spoke to you, and you told him to fuck off, and he fucked off. Like nothing really happened. Right?
Yeah.
Now imagine if you were a chick. Dude, you'd be scared shitless. You'd be like, where the fuck am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Which is why, gun,
Yes.
point and shoot, fuck him.
You don't even need that much training. Like at that range. you
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Pull it out.
It is like
And then mag dump the guy
exactly.
if you have to.
You know, it's only people who can't throw a paper ball at something that is 2 feet away who cannot handle a gun. Otherwise, most people in most real life situations can handle a gun.
Yeah.
You don't even need to know how to handle it properly. You just need to keep it in your hand and go tap 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 tap
At
tap.
the ranges that civilians are going to be dealing with, it's point and shoot.
Exactly.
You're not aiming down sights, and even then, like, it's not. You don't even have to shoot 9 times out of 10. Most
So
people
that is so going back to the point. That is
Yeah.
my issue with outrage culture. You are outraged by the wrong shit.
I think outrage itself, it's always gonna happen. You can never change the baser instincts of the collective. They're always gonna fall to the more.
Yeah, but I
Rudimentary
think
stuff.
I think
But I think as the individual, you can hold yourself more accountable. You can be more intelligent about this.
that.
You know.
So I used to date this girl who would go back home, and she would arrive at night, like for holiday, right? So you go from college, you go back home, and she would arrive at night in Bombay, and she was very like casual about the safety aspect of it because she was like, Bombay is safe. And it fucking drove me nuts because my whole thing was, okay, it might be safe, but please, like, do something just as simple as picking up, calling the somebody, like your dad or me or anybody, and just saying, okay, I'm in the auto number is dash dash dash, and let the driver hear you, or let the taxi wala hear you, right? So that he knows if he does some shit, he's in trouble. But she wouldn't do it. Like, educated women, intelligent women who agree with this point will still be very cavalier about their safety for some reason, which I don't understand. Just don't understand it.
You remember when me and our family and our friends
and our family,
like as in our collective family and friend group, like our small little knitted group was out once, and we were at the stop. I think we had a whole thing about, we had a little bit of an argument about safety in the car, where our mom was more cavalier about the stuff, you know, because something happened. I don't remember specifically what, but something happened, and we were stuck in Dunkin' Donuts when Dunkin' Donuts was still around in Jalandhar. And we had a whole thing about safety, right? Like both of the women in the car were very reckless about it, but the two of us were like, okay, you can't really take this stuff for granted.
Yeah, I mean, if you're with us,
that's where I got that.
See, the thing is, they don't do that shit when they're alone anyway. Like, okay, they do, but not to that extent.
I think, like, there's something else as well that kind of doesn't sit well with me. It's this notion that a collective of women is somehow safe. You know, if I bunch up with other women, I'm safe. We are protected.
Yeah, because when a wolf comes along, if he has 30 sheep instead of 2.
Yeah,
it is harder for him, I guess.
And I've always been like, okay, that's not you being safe.
Yeah, what
makes you a bigger target?
What if you are one of those 5 sheep that he kills out of the 30?
Yeah, and not even that, you're a bigger target. And this is going by the assumption that there's just one guy operating like this, instead of usually what the case is. It's usually a group, right? It's usually a bunch of these dudes.
Dude, I'll tell you what. In the last episode, we were talking about this, right?
And this isn't me saying that women are sheep, alright?
No.
Or that you can't do anything about it.
It's just an example.
I'm just saying, be intelligent about it. And if you can't fight, you have to think about other things. You have to find other measures. Because let's be real here, physicality matters. And if you can't fight, if you have no other metric, right? If you have no other dimension to your ability to protect yourselves, the only thing that matters in that instance when it comes to fighting is your physical capability.
Imagine
strength matters. That's reality.
Imagine fat chicks who can't even run away.
Well, that's shit. What do you do?
Right? I think they're the first ones who should be given guns.
Yeah.
Like, I think the government should have a protect fat chicks program and just hand out guns to them. Ma'am, because you can't run.
Or
here is a gun.
Those village defense committees or something that they have running in J&K, where they hand out guns and they're training. Yeah,
that's nice shit.
That's actually smart, by the way.
But you can't do it everywhere. Like, you do that in Punjab, oh my god. They're gonna shoot their boyfriends because they saw them with some other guy. Like, pancho teri maarna ta. And we're like, now you're getting shot because you had an affair. Yeah, we just forgot to take crazy chicks into account, right?
Yeah, but you know, you're not gonna have winners in this whole thing. There's always gonna be some caveat or something.
Just people getting shot, which is kind of.
You have to look at the aggregate, right?
Yeah.
Most people will benefit, some won't. It's like economics.
See, I don't even care about the aggregate. My whole thing is if like 100 people are getting shot and 60 of them deserve to be shot, then 60 cases are righteous and the rest are entertainment.
Okay, I'm a beer.
Yeah, go get another beer. Yeah, what were you about to say?
Going back to the physicality thing, right? Even if you're skilled as a woman, it like at best things get equal, right? And you have to be decently
not
skilled. Not
necessarily. See, as a woman, right?
I remember.
Okay, so women should not be taught how to fight. They should be taught how to fight dirty.
We need quick
like
solutions.
Dirty. No, very dirty. Like all of the dirty things that I keep showing you, dirty fighting tricks. Not just tricks. Like, okay, so how do you use your elbows? Because elbows on certain parts of your body will
Not very brutal.
are
Elbow
brutal.
to- yeah.
They will either cut you or they will break both.
12 to 6 elbows will fuck you
Yeah,
up easy.
it is basically like having two knives attached to your
yeah,
body.
Yeah, and these things can cut pretty easily as
But,
well. They're very
okay.
sharp. They will break your bones very easily if you know how to use them.
Another thing, I don't agree with you on the 12 to 6 elbow. I think you can generate more power when you elbow normally than 12 to 6.
I think 12. No, but the thing is, it's not about generating power. 12 to 6 elbows to the top of your head. This thing is weak.
No, it's the strongest bone in your body.
The top of your head is divided. You smash your elbows into this.
There
it's
is a
very brutal.
suture there,
And
but this part of your skull is the hardest.
this part of your skull is harder, right? But if you drop elbows up top, that's why they ban them. It's about shot placement. Things that go to the back of your head or the top of your head are very, very dangerous.
Okay, so start having this and I'll pour more.
Mm.
I don't want you to get gassy and fart on camera, so I'm not like. That's why I'm getting the foam out. I'm just fucking with you. Anyway, yeah. So back to outrage culture. Like, okay, so I have this one friend. She's an ophthalmologist. She's working in Bombay, and on her social media, so she doesn't post anything usually, which I find very refreshing. It's kind of cool.
Oh, so she's kind of like me.
No,
I'm like no, because I don't do.
no, she has a
Instagram.
profile and there is stuff on it. She's not like
I do have
non-existent
stuff on it, but
like
it's
you.
like old now.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, my point was, so when this Calcutta case happened, initially all of my friends who were doctors, they were like, oh, all eyes on RG Kar, all eyes on Calcutta and yada yada. They went through that whole social media like wave when they rode that
good
wave.
stuff. I don't
right?
disagree.
They did all of that. Yeah, I agree with that too. But then stay consistent, na? Like I didn't say anything about this. I'm just doing it here so that my opinion is out on camera. I didn't want to write about it so that I'm very clear on it. Yes, you should be outraged, but then don't forget it after a week or 2 weeks, right? It's been what, 28 days or something, or like a month.
Personally, I don't even care about the outrage until and unless you're giving a long-term solution and you're working towards it. It doesn't matter.
Dude,
you can be outraged
that is
as much
what
as
I
you
fucking
want.
hate, right?
Yeah.
Give solutions.
Yeah.
Figure out the problem. Don't be like, okay. Don't be like, yeah, you know what we'll do? We'll tell female doctors that you have to go home early. Your duty hours are shortened.
Yeah.
And this and that. Just put guards, na. Put guards in your institution.
Not even guards. Like, you're not doing anything that addresses the problem long term. The police is operating under a framework from the 1800s.
Okay,
in
don't
terms
start
of-
this again.
No.
No, you're right.
Okay.
You're right,
Okay,
but I'm
let's
just
do-
sick of hearing
Okay,
it.
let's take the granular stuff, right? You don't have independent.
Your favorite word, granular.
I'm gotten used to it. So the police doesn't have any independent authority on itself. That's usually controlled by the politicians can decide your posting, and also they can keep shifting it around. So you don't have an independent recruitment. You don't have promotions being decided by an independent authority. You don't have an investigation agency within the police that looks up your stuff. You don't have a properly organized evidence room. Your superintendents and all these people don't have tenures. For some fucking reason, your police ranking structure has been transitioned from what it was before, more constrained and compact, to the army. Why? Because pay scale. They wanted to replicate that stuff. This happened in the 80s, by the way. You fucked up your police over the course of 70 years to the point that it basically just exists as a name only. It doesn't really have a purpose. Whenever shit happens, it doesn't do anything. Right?
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
I would go that far, because as like the minor cases, sure, they'll register and they'll go through that stuff. Nothing's gonna come out
like,
of it. The major cases, they'll just step aside.
No, go to Model Town with a gun and shoot 5 people.
Yeah, but they
will catch you.
They will catch you.
You're being out. So this friend of mine I was telling you about.
Right.
So she doesn't usually post anything. She didn't post anything for the initial part where everybody was losing their shit. And then I'm assuming she read up on it because she wrote very interesting and well-researched stuff, and she was like, do something about it, right? Perfectly good like demand to have. There's nothing unreasonable about it. The thing I like about her is she has kept it up. Like, she's still talking about it and posting something about it. She didn't just vanish after 1 week. right? And people will say, oh, you never posted anything about it, and I didn't want to.
And I think you're not. I don't think people have to do that, right? I think if you're gonna do it properly, which is what your friend did. Which is she did her research, she kept it up, she's been consistent.
Yeah.
But if you're not gonna do that, then just don't do it. You're not being helpful.
Dude,
I think one avenue is that we do need a cultural change, and that's what this is good for, right? You bring eyes to this stuff. You need to stop having dudes who fucking victim blame and look at women like objects or whatever. But like at the same time, that's not a solution. That's like a single dimension.
See, you know what the biggest solution is that people will never accept. Ironically, teach your young boys how to speak to women, how to date them respectfully.
Yeah.
So that they are not so fucking frustrated.
I've always had this thing, right? But like, why are you separating men and women? Like,
Exactly.
How do you expect them to grow up and then have a normal
And
conversation?
and then all of a sudden
They don't know how to fucking talk to women.
And then all of a sudden, when they're like 26, 25, they're like, okay, now this one you can fuck. I'm like, what is this? What is this social structure? Okay, oh, no sex.
Yeah.
Now, have sex. Like, why? How is he or how is she in a marriage supposed to then have a normal married life? They don't know anything.
How are you supposed to be in a relationship, a long-term relationship with somebody when you don't have relationship skills?
Exactly.
Which you're never gonna get if you don't have relationships.
Exactly.
Like experience trumps all. That's the reality. You have to be able to learn, and you also need experience. I can have high-flying fantasies about what a relationship looks like, and a lot of people do. And I bet I do as well internally. Some things, right?
You do?
Everybody does. I think until you iron them out.
Dude, you know what a relationship really is? Like a successful relationship. A successful relationship is just two people deciding that we understand our idiosyncrasies and we understand where we are compatible,
and we're okay with it.
And we're fine with it, and that is it. Like, we're not going to go around fucking around with other people. That is a genuine good relationship. It's not that everything is fucking perfect.
But you listen, it's not supposed to be perfect, and it's never going to be perfect. You're going to have to put a lot of work in. It's a 100 thing. You put in the work, the other person puts in the work. One day you're gonna wake up, you're gonna fucking hate the person next to you. The other day you're gonna wake up and she's the best fucking thing in the world.
Yeah, because you hate something else more now.
It's always
because you didn't get the promotion you want, so you're pissed today. And even though you've hated her for like 5 years in a row, today she was nice to you, so now all of a sudden you like her.
The point is, it's not sunshine. It's not gonna be sunshine and rainbows. And if you're going by that conception, which I think a lot of people are, right?
Yeah,
a lot of people are looking at the thrills, right?
Bollywood, bro.
Yeah, big time. Man, movies really fuck up people's understanding of relationships.
I don't understand why people don't make genuine movies. Like,
it doesn't sell. A lot of people look at movies as an escape to reality. Cinema doesn't really sell that much. Martin Scorsese is famous, but nobody watches. In terms of the regular people.
This is fuck off, bro.
Yeah,
that is horseshit. More people watch Martin Scorsese than they watch any Bollywood masala movie.
In India?
All over the world.
No, okay, if you're going all over the world, Marvel is making billions of dollars. Martin Scorsese isn't. That's the point, right? You have superhero movies. Who the fuck cares about genuinely? Like, you can enjoy it as a hobby, but as a whole,
I mean, they are good and they're fun. But if you ask me, okay,
I think the last movie I watched was Avengers.
I have watched them.
Yeah.
Not all of them, like the ones I wanted to watch, basically. And they're kind of fun. But they're not the movies you go and watch again.
Yeah.
You will go watch. Okay, I can't tell you how many times I've watched Martin Scorsese movies over and over and
exactly,
over.
Goodfellas and all that. Those are genuinely good movies.
Right.
Yeah, you can watch it again and again.
Yeah, so what do you want to be? You want to be the Instagram model, or do you want to be Petra Nemkova?
Well,
Petra Nemkova, right?
But the point here isn't that they're not good movies or they don't deserve attention. The point here is
the concept is to...
Most people don't watch the niche stuff. Most people don't watch the stuff that's insightful.
I love how you made Martin Scorsese niche.
Yeah, he has become niche. By his own admission, he's become niche. Right? I don't know if you heard this, but he had a whole thing about cinema.
About Marvel movies and all that.
Yeah, and what's cinema and what's like Marvel movies on cinema and all. And he's right. They're not cinema, and they're not meant to be cinema either, and that's fine. But like nobody is going into theaters to watch cinema anymore. We're just going there to escape reality.
Okay, back to outrage culture and fuck, man. I mean,
isn't it a little dark, man?
Very dark.
Can they even see? We need lights, man.
But you know what? I am disappointed by the fact that this whole thing has gone through the same cycle. In fact, in the Nirbhaya case, people were concerned about it longer.
Yeah.
In this one, people have just like dropped it. Most people have. Like it's still on the news and all of that.
It's on the news, but
but it's not.
No, people
it's
are.
not
It's
being
on the psyche anymore.
Yeah, people have moved on to other things, which is fascinating. It's fascinating that people have moved on from the Ukraine war. It's fascinating that the Gaza thing is like now it's theek hai. It's going on, so it's okay. Which I understand, right?
You can't really keep.
No,
up
you have to accept reality for
not
what
just
it
accept
is.
reality, but you can't keep up that passion and like that kind of energy forever either. There's that, but at the same time, it's just like it's gone. Nobody's talking about this shit anymore.
It's just like it comes in the news. Supreme Court has done this and said this. They're just having they show you the Supreme Court judges, the panel that they've assembled, having arguments with the lawyers representing both sides. And it's like, we don't give a fuck about any of these details. We want to know whether those fuckers are guilty or not, whether you found all of the fuckers that are guilty. And then we want to know when you're going to hang, draw and quarter, or like shoot or bury them alive or whatever the fuck it is. Find something inventive and do it.
I like George Carlin's thing.
What?
Boil them in oil, shoot them from a catapult into a brick wall.
No, there are better ways of killing people if you really want to make them suffer. All of that is like, you know what the Koreans...
But that's entertainment
You know
value.
what the Chinese used to do to the Koreans?
The Chinese used to do, like the Chinese...
The Chinese used to take like 2 big pots of water,
and
boil
them
one
up.
and chill the other.
Yeah.
And then they would take they would take a Korean. I don't know why I'm laughing at this. They would take a Korean, they would dip him in the boiling water and pull him out immediately so its skin would start peeling. And then they would put him in the cold water and it would like contract and peel more. And then they would keep doing that process till his fucking skin fell off.
I've seen Shogun.
Not the whole thing.
I've seen. Oh, it's pretty good.
I know.
I need to read the books as well.
I watched the first season and most of the second season. I think I haven't finished it.
There's no second season.
Also, I have watched most of the first season, but I haven't finished.
No, there's no second season. It just came out not too long ago.
Shogun. FX, right?
Yeah, but there's no second season.
Okay, so I might be mistaken. Then I have not finished the first season. But yeah, it's nice. It's very good.
Yeah, I knew about the books a long time ago, right? So there's a bunch of books. There's I think he has a whole Oriental series. This guy, and he made it in the 60s, but it's like very, very good. So that's where I got. I didn't realize it until I watched it, but this that Shogun was based on the books. Those books specifically, the Asian saga, not the Oriental saga. But I forgot the guy himself. I need to read the books.
Fuck it, get to the point.
The point is, it's a pretty good series. But
how is this related to our conversation, you dumb fuck?
The reason it's related is because the first episode has this guy getting
put into the boiling water, right?
Skinny dipping in boiling water, That's what remind me of.
But the Chinese did it like they made an art out of it.
The Chinese were very, very good at torturing people.
I'm pretty sure they still have those skills. So for anybody who thinks China should run the world,
I don't think
imagine Guantanamo Bay on steroids.
I don't think they bother with that anymore. They just kill you or throw you in prison and torture you leisurely. That's their thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, if you're looking at the modern...
Dude, a normal question. If this RG cut thing... So imagine that lady was your friend. What would your reaction be?
Close friend? Like somebody I can think of?
I don't think that matters at that point. Like even if she's a friend, you would be pissed about it.
I would be pissed about it, but we're talking actions.
Yeah, imagine she's a close friend, you live in Calcutta and this happens to her. What is your natural reaction?
I kill the person.
Exactly. right?
And like not in some drawn out thing. I'm talking efficiency. Just go and kill, make it quick, clean, discreet, get away.
You're not getting away.
I mean, shit, how many people get murdered and nothing happens out of the case?
Yeah, because
the whole thing is overblown.
They're poor and nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah. So it's not that hard, especially in India. India is not the. You could be talking about the CBI for all I care. The CBI is not that competent. It's not the FBI.
If the CBI was holding him in a complex, you would like manage to not just kill him. Kill you can. You would manage to then
it doesn't
escape
have to be,
without getting caught.
It doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be the next week. It has to be. It can be when he's vulnerable.
Okay. So anyway, the point was, I agree. Completely agree.
He's not the CBI.
I agree.
I
agree. Let's not spend more time on this. So my point was, that is a natural reaction of every fucking buddy, right?
Yeah.
How did the government not realize that they need to do some shit about this? And why are the people not realizing that the government doesn't do shit? So please, take a stick and shove it up the government's ass.
Well, we're just too used to
rapes.
Well, that, but we're also just used to not having anything done. I think it's just like Indian now.
Dude, you're like overdoing it.
I don't think so. I think like what expectations do you really have of your political structure at this point?
That they're going to delay this shit. They're going to catch them. They're going to put them in prison. They're going to delay it for a long time, and then they're eventually going to like hang them.
I mean, even if you settle...
Dude, she fucking died. Horribly.
Bro, look at the other cases. They all died horribly and it was not
Yeah, but
good.
with her, so it
what
was...
happened now?
You know what, with her it was... So with the Nirbhaya case, it was that they found her alive. And then she suffered and she died. Sad story. It shouldn't happen to anybody. Especially a lady. In this case, they found her fucking dead, apparently. As far as I know.
As well.
Huh?
Mutilated as well.
Mutilated as well. So she suffered and she died. She wasn't even found alive. It wasn't even like she was found at the right time and then maybe she died because she couldn't sustain the injuries. No. Time had passed when they found her and it was already done. Dude, that is a... And I don't understand what prompts you to do it to the woman that you just saw and you decided, you know what, I'm going to rape her and kill her. I don't understand that concept at all.
I think it's situational.
Like, yeah, but what drives you to go to that extent?
In this case, I'm not even sure if it was like individual desire or was it like something that was marked.
And that communal mentality took over.
Because if I remember correctly, she was putting up complaints and stuff or something.
About somebody?
Not just somebody, I think the hospital. I think she had concerns and she was putting out...
Yeah, there's like a conspiracy around the whole
Yeah, there's like a whole conspiracy going on. I don't know about that. I haven't looked it up properly. So I don't know if it's like this guy just being sex starved or something. I don't even know if was she... I haven't seen this person. I haven't seen the victim. I've been trying to look for who this person is. I don't even know her name personally. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Like nobody should know her name.
I guess because people are fucking psychotic. I guess
people are fucking psychotic. Yeah. They will start like hounding the family, which they already are. But at least like not every average jackass on the internet has access to her personal details, right? So I think that's a good thing. No, but I think this lady should become an example. And I know every time this shit happens, people say this. But you know what? So there was this guy in Kerala. Somebody raped his sister. He chopped the fucker's head off. He was drenched in blood. Walked to the police station with that guy's head in his hand.
Turned himself in.
He was like, "You weren't doing anything, so I killed him." And I'm like, you know what? Give him a new set of clothes, buy him a new car, and tell him, please enjoy your life, because he has done the country a service.
Yeah.
Fuck, bro. Nerve on people.
I think what this...
fucking nerve on people.
I think what this tells us is the internet and all this, like the technology is caught up, right? And that's what makes these structures blatantly obvious in how problematic they are. I think for all the hue and cry that Americans make about their fucking problems, it's not even close to the shit over here.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, they don't realize that we are dealing with a far larger population and we are dealing with far more diversity.
And a far more, like, lot more variability, you know?
So, their thing is, even though they have different communities that came from different places and they maintain their original, like they remember where they came from, they still have become American and they fall under one banner in general because the way they speak, the way they act, the things that they do, they have become common. In India, that is not true.
Not
a
at all.
South Indian is still a South Indian, and even in South Indians, so because I've lived there, I have a general idea. They are very particular about their individuality in terms of state and community, right? And the caste system is also very strong there. But that is besides the point. The point is, India is very diverse, and there are a lot of people. So it is far more difficult to police this.
It's frankly a bit of a shit show.
It's not a shit show.
I think
it's not a shit show. It's you know what, it is a good compromise for what we present as a problem. But the thing is that it is not a good enough compromise. Certain things need to change. Rapes should not be acceptable and there should be no controversy around it.
Yeah.
It should be like a fucking airstrike. Find the target, tell your jets where to drop the bomb, give them the coordinates, and then they go and drop it. There should be no philandering about it where you're like running around in circles trying to figure random shit out that has nothing to do with the case. No, find every motherfucker that is responsible and eliminate him. Done. End of story. Nothing, no questions, no nothing. Once you know.
You do need to ask questions though. You have to be very careful.
I mean, once you know, that is what I mean, right? Once you've asked all the questions and you know, don't ask questions when it comes to the process of reaching the conclusion. Ask questions about what the truth is so that you can make an informed decision. I think that is something that is lacking and it's a big problem.
Expediency isn't something the Indian government is known for. Let's be honest, you know. I think ultimately every problem in India just boils down to a government problem. Really, I mean, let's be honest here.
This is something I don't like. As a society, why the fuck is nobody taking responsibility?
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. When
no, you just.
How many people? Let's be honest here. How many people are take responsibility for their failures? Have the balls to take responsibility for their failures?
Everybody should.
Everybody should, but how many do?
I do. I'm pretty sure you do.
Other people though, think about it.
Yeah, people want to pawn off their failures on other people.
Yeah. How many people have that self-awareness, you know? Do you even realize that they have problems? Or that they need something to work on? Everybody is busy pointing fingers.
Everybody has problems and everybody has things to work on.
But how many people are not even like working on them? Like how many people are aware of them? Let's be real. Self-awareness is not very common. I can pull out a laundry list of things that I'm not good at, or that I have problems at, right? I'm not gonna make a hue and cry about it. I'm not gonna break down over it. But I know those problems. I know those things need to be worked on. And I know that they're not good and they affect people around me. But how many people are really capable of that? I think we're very prone on pointing fingers, but nobody looks at themselves either.
That's true everywhere. More so in the West, I believe.
I agree. The West has the thing
You
with
do?
the beat around the bush.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I kind of hate the term the West. Honestly, I think it's just like US, Canada or something. I think that's what
Europe,
we should say.
US, Canada.
Europe is like...
I think Europe is the most chill place to be in.
Like what part of
until
Europe?
it goes to
because
war.
Europe culturally is not the same.
Yeah,
at
it
all.
isn't.
Yeah, Hungary is entirely different from England, right? That's
Oh,
why I don't
I-
like the term the West. Like, what are we talking about here? Because
Hungary
they're not
is
the
like
same.
Hungary is like Eastern Europe, no?
Yeah,
So different system.
yeah, that's what I mean, right? But it's still part of Europe, and it's still part of NATO, and it's still part of EU. So, like, what are we talking about? Because culturally, they're not same at all.
When I say the West, I'm talking about France, England, Portugal.
Even France and England and the US are like different.
Yeah, they are. But there are certain things about their culture that match, and there are certain aspects in which they align with each other, and that has been so for a very long time. Dude, they fucked each other up, and they fought with each other. But when it comes down to it, they always band up because geography and white people and
Yeah,
all that shit.
Anglosphere stuff,
Exactly.
right?
That is what the culture is entirely based
That's
on.
why even though Australia is like forever away, not even in the same hemisphere.
It is still considered the West,
Yeah,
which I find kind of funny though, because I think they are the most far removed from the West, and I like the difference because they are rugged. They like Toyota, like high-end Toyota, fucking off-roaders. They like to go into the bush. They like to barbecue. They like to drink beer. I think that is the most Punjabi version of
Actually,
white
yeah.
culture, right?
you can't even like you can't Americanize it either. Like Australia, the way it's built, like in terms of terrain and climate and geography and all, there's not a lot you can do in terms of just urbanizing it or something, right? So at the end of the day, you have to deal with the climate and you have to deal with the fauna and the flora and all that. You have to be rugged. You have to walk around. I've been to Australia. I lived there for a month, right? Me
I
and
know,
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even then, like even with all the amenities and the public transportation and all that, you still have to walk around. You still have to be more like just physical there, you know. It's not a like there's a market difference between Canada and Australia.
Yeah. Privilege.
Yeah.
Less privilege in Australia. Still a lot of privilege, but not as much. Anyway, so we've gone off topic again, and let's end this now so that we can
It's
start.
about time.
Yeah, yes,
I don't think people can even see us right
I'll
now.
figure it out. And yeah, let's move on to rum because I'm out of beer and
Again, 2 nights in a row.
yeah, don't be a pussy. This I'm gonna put in the podcast.
See, you can have rum. I think I'm just gonna chill for now.
Bitch.
Sue me.
See, you are the only person I can peer pressure with impunity.
You can
because-
try, but I'm not gonna
Because you drank yesterday.
smoke. But
Yeah.
I
Don't-
went out.
don't.
Who cares? I went out of my way to ask. You didn't pressure me. I just said, hey, I want to.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't believe in.
It wasn't peer pressure.
Okay, so
and even then, I've come to the conclusion that I don't want.
in actuality, I don't believe in peer pressure. I believe
I do.
in like, fuck it.
I think it's a thing.
No, it is a thing,
Yeah.
but I don't believe in doing it.
Yeah, that's
Although I have done it when I was younger.
an
Anyway,
individual thing. Right?
We're done. It's too dark, and we need more alcohol. So goodbye.